I want to say a quick thank you to everybody for making your time available this morning, especially quick thank you to Dimitri for joining us from Guarantee Trust Life to spend some time and talk about the Advantage Plus product and how you can utilize that to capitalize on a lot of opportunity. So with that said, go ahead and put her in gear and get her rolling, Dimitri.
Sounds great. Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. As Mike said, my name is Dimitri Simos. I'm one of the sales managers here at GTL, and what we're going to talk about today is our two products, actually, one being our Advantage Plus hospital indemnity plan, and second is our supplemental solutions lump sum cancer product. And I guess before we start talking product, for those of you that may not be familiar with Guarantee Trust Life, I'm going to go over a little bit about GTL here. We are located just north of Chicago in a suburb called Glenview, Illinois. We were founded in 1936 by the Holston family, so we're currently being led by the third generation of Holstons, which is an incredible feat. First of all, being in business for 77 plus years, but also still being owned by the same company for the 177 years. So it's pretty cool in that regard. We are a mutual life insurance company. I would probably consider us more of a mid-size carrier in the scope of things, which definitely has its benefits, and so we're definitely able to do various things, which is I think a lot of times what agents like about GTL is more of the personal nature of how we do business, and we are a niche product provider. We do simplified issue products very, very well. And that's really where we've been now for the last 5 years, consistently is doing niche products. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the Advantage Plus. And when we think about the Advantage Plus, we think the reason why the product is available and why it's doing so well is that because health insurance today doesn't matter if you're talking senior health or underage health. You're going to have some copays and deductibles and so forth that's out of pocket for your insureds. And what the Advantage Plus can do is help your client offset the cost of some of those copays or out-of-pocket expenses that they have, with a reasonable premium, to get access to some access to some real dollars. When the Advantage Plus, really what you want to look at here conceptually is that if you can have an average premium of around $50 a month in general, then then if your client agrees to that, then you got a good sale, and that's where the product is going to stay in force for years to come. So that's really when we talk about Advantage Plus, keep that in mind in the back of your head. That $50 is pretty much the average premium that you're looking for. Yeah, is everybody going to do that? Of course not. Some folks can't afford it. So they may go lesser benefits or lesser amounts, which is fine, not a problem. So I guess with that, let's go into the actual nuts and bolts of the Advantage Plus product, which the base plan has two choices you need to make. The first choice is that you want to choose a 10 or 21-day benefit period. Up in the New England area, for the most part in Maine, you're going to have a 10 or 21-day option, and the benefit period most folks that are offering today are a 10-day benefit period because they find that their copays that they're working with are typically in the 5, 6, 7-day range. So a 10-day benefit period makes a whole lot of sense, for their clients to have. The benefit periods do restore once the insured is out of the hospital for 61 days or longer. And I like to call this my litmus test is when I talk about 61 days or longer. No matter what the scenario is that a client will bring up to you, you just want to say, okay, has it been 61 days or longer before you get a brand new 10-day benefit period? So for example, if a client says to you, Dimitri, I'm in the hospital for 3 days, and then 30 days later I'm in the hospital for 13 days, and then 3 months after that I'm in the hospital again for another seven days. How do I get paid out of this plan? Well, then you just got to pretty much break it down by each occurrence. So the first 3 days would be definitely a coverage, and then if they went in for 30 days after the initial treatment, they went in for, what I say 10 days after that. So now you've got 7 days left in your 10-day benefit period, so you're going to get paid the remainder 10 days. And then once the insured's out of the hospital for 61 days or longer, which in this case they would have been, they would have had a brand new 10-day benefit period and would have gotten paid their additional dollars for that third time in. So that's kind of how how you can use the restoration benefits there regarding the daily confinement. The rates are an issue age rate, so they do not increase with attained age, and they not unlike some other health plans where every year you're going to get a medical increase of a certain percentage. These are locked in. It's not technically locked in, but issue age locked in, and we do have the option of increasing rates if the whole block of business necessitates that, and we have to go to the Department of Insurances to justify the request and all that. So that's the only time that rates can be justified, can go up. But we've had the product in force or in in the market for the last 8 years now, and everything is running great. No talks or thoughts or anything of talking about going out with increasing pricing. So everything looks great. So no concerns on that front. The second choice you need to make when you're talking about the Advantage Plus is how much do you want to offer your client, or your client should get in terms of a daily confinement benefit. We do offer a range from $100 to $600 in $10 increments. Again, that's it's not tied to anything. It's a standalone hospital indemnity plan. So if your client has a $250 copay on a certain product that they have, you can offer them $200, $100, $300, $500, whatever that number is that you would like, that you think that client needs or that client wants and can afford. So that's definitely part of the flexibility of the Advantage Plus, which is very cool. Probably not as important, probably a pretty important statement here is that you want to make sure that you understand that the Advantage Plus is a limited benefit policy. It's not a supplement of any kind. It doesn't supplement the, a government program or anything to that effect. So that statement at the bottom, please, what that's really regarding to is that, when we're talking amongst ourselves as agents, or coworkers and so forth, we can talk to each other and call it whatever we want to call it. But when we're talking to clients, we cannot use the word supplement, wrap plan, or any of those type of things because it's not truly any of those words. This is a standalone hospital indemnity product. So our Advantage Plus, outside of the base plan, does come with some additional riders available for, to be able to offer your clients. Some of the riders that are available are ambulance rider, which offers the insured $200 per trip up to a $2,500 lifetime max. Cancer rider, it's a first occurrence lump sum cancer plan, so it's a $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, or $10,000 benefit. Once it's used, then that rider would go away along with the cost of that rider would go away. We also offer a skilled nursing rider, which if the insured is in the hospital either under observation or confinement, and then they get put in the nursing home, they would get $120 per day from days 21 to 100 of being in a skilled nursing facility. We also have a lump sum hospital rider, which also restores if the insured is out of the hospital for 61 days or longer, as does the skilled nursing rider. The lump sum hospital rider is a $250, $500, $750 benefit, and it's paid in addition to the daily confinement amount. Some folks may, the flexibility of this plan, again, there's no one way to use the overall product or the riders, but some folks may look at the lump sum hospital rider and say, sometimes I run across some Part A only people. They don't want any Part Bs, they don't want any additional products to help with their Medicare Part A and B. So what some folks may do is they may say, I'll do $100 a day of daily confinement benefit, and I'll add a $750 lump sum rider. So day one, if my insured goes in the hospital, they're going to get $850. If they were to stay in there for day two, they get another $100, so they get that go up to $950. They go up to day three, they go up to $1050. Day four, $1150. So about day four, they get close to covering their Part A deductible. So it's another option in terms of being able to, from a flexibility standpoint, that we can use it in a number of different ways. We do also offer a durable medical equipment rider, which is 30% of the first $1,000 of durable medical expense. This is an annual maximum, so the maximum payout on the rider is a $300 per year max. We also offer an outpatient surgery rider. We all know today a lot of things are done on an outpatient basis. The benefits that are available are $250, $500, $750, and $1,000. We do pay this twice per calendar year. It's not a one-time per year rider. It is twice per year. So when you're looking at it and you see $250 and the premium, let's say, is $190, really you got to look at it with the eyes of it's a $500 per year benefit versus only a $250. So keep that in mind when you do that. And then the AD&D rider is also available for $5,000 or $10,000. So accidental death and dismemberment, a little extra icing on the Advantage Plus cupcake. So now you're probably saying, Dimitri, we talked about the base plan, we talked about the riders. Now, what is it that really makes a lot of sense? You guys probably can answer that question for yourselves, I'm sure. But from what we see is that in order to help keep you around that $50 mark, $50 a month mark right there, folks choose a daily confinement benefit, but then they also will add on an ambulance rider, because the annual cost typically for an ambulance rider is going to be around $40 a year, which then when you break that down monthly is about $3 and some change. And the other thing that we do see a lot of, especially in the senior market side of the Advantage Plus, is a cancer rider. And the cancer rider we see a lot at the $5,000 level. The reason why we see the cancer rider is that a lot of plans will have a radiation chemotherapy copay, which would get applied to their out-of-pocket max, and that's a 20% copay, typically. So if anyone's ever knows anything about what goes on with cancer once you start getting into radiation chemotherapies, those costs aren't going to be a $1,000 or $3,000 type of cost. They typically run into the $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or even higher range. So 20% of any of those numbers, you're pretty much assured that your client's going to hit the maximum out-of-pocket exposure that they have. That's why the cancer rider would make a lot of sense to offer for your clients. So those are the three things, and we do see on occasion, depending on the plans that are in particular areas in the country, some folks do also offer that skilled nursing rider. Those are really the top three riders that we do see that are offered, with most plans. Now, from an underwriting perspective, it's a very simple process. It's a JET issue, yes/no application. We don't do any MIBs or phone interviews. So when you're asking a question to your client, the questions are pretty black and white. There is no gray matter regarding them. It's either yes, I have been treated for this, or no, I have not been treated for this. If they say yes, we need to stop the application process right there and say, say sorry, we don't qualify for the plan. If they do say no, you'll submit the application, and we'll process it, and it'll be issued. Simple as that. Most questions are based on the last 12 months, type of question. So that's that's what you're going to look at from what you expect to see on the application. In most states, there is a guarantee issue period from ages 64.5 to age 65.5. So all that means is that in the first 5 questions of the application, the insured if they're 64.5 to 65.5, the insured is not going to have to answer those first 5 questions. Even if they do say yes to them, they could say yes to them, it's still going to get issued. The only exception to the guarantee issue portion is that you always have to answer the last 3 questions of the application, which is the cancer questions, which is only 2 questions for that, and then there's also a replacement question, which is number 8. And you always have to answer that as being yes or no. If you answer yes to the replacement question, it's not a knockout. It's just more of an informational scenario there. Keep in mind that you also do have a pre-existing condition clauses in the application or the policy. So if they can say no to the application questions, but they were treated for something within 6 months of the policy being issued, and then they get hospitalized due to that within the first 6 months after the policy's been issued, claim would not be payable until it's been 6 months and 1 day. It depends on your state. Most states are 6 months, some are 12 months, but that's generally how the pre-existing condition would work. From an issue ages perspective, we do offer coverage from ages 40 to age 85. Again, it is issue age, so the rates will not go up each year based on, based on their attained age. The cancer rider can be offered through up to age 79, and then the And then the lump sum cancer itself, which is the second product, it goes up to age 85, 70, I'm sorry, I apologize. The lump sum cancer rider goes up to 79, and then the ambulance rider goes up to age 80. Now, sometimes, if you've been running our product for, a couple, 3 years, and things change in terms of product that are being offered, we do have the ability to offer additional coverage by lowering the minimums of requirements. So if you have a client that does want to add some additional coverage to their current plan, and say they had $200 of daily confinement benefit and they want to go to $250, on the application it'll say new coverage, or I should say increased benefits. They increase, check that off. You complete the application as you normally would, but you only input the amount of the increase that you need. You wouldn't put the full 250 on the application. You just put the 50 because that'd be the minimum. You go from 50 to, as long as you don't exceed the total amount of 600 in combined daily benefit that's available for that client, then you have no issues, and everything would still work the same. The only thing that's different regarding the increase in benefits would be that you would not be required to get another application fee, and then you also would be paid first-year commissions on that increased amount. We're talking, so you got an idea, I think, pretty good idea about the plan and underwriting. Now, here's some rate examples to kind of show you really how affordable the Advantage Plus is. So if you're looking at $250 a day of daily benefit with an ambulance rider, at age 65, we're looking at a monthly premium of $28.90 a month. Even at age 70, at $34.65 a month. Very, very, very affordable, I would say, in that, taking a small amount of dollars to be able to get access to a lot. If you were to take that same example and add the skilled nursing rider, that monthly premium would go to $36.66 a month at age 65, or at $44.17. Or if you didn't want the skilled nursing rider, if you want to just go with the cancer rider, along with the initial scenario of $250 and the ambulance rider, at age 65, you're looking at $42.97 a month. At age 70, $50.69 a month. And even at age 75, $57.77 a month. Still right there within our range of target premium, what we're looking for. And so this way you can provide some good coverage and good dollars to your client for a reasonable premium. So I mentioned earlier that the product is flexible. You don't have to do exactly what their exposure is. Some folks will actually increase their daily confinement benefit $25, $50 extra than what they currently need to kind of take into account what might change in the future, or maybe provide some extra dollars. So, because what happens when you get out of the hospital typically is that you have to go see a doctor for a checkup anyway, so you're going to need a copay, to cover that doctor's office visit. So these dollars would be available. So, so that's one of the nice things about the plan. So, at $300 a day of daily benefit with the ambulance rider, you're only looking at $34 a month. You're only looking at about, what we're looking at, $6 a month difference. Still very affordable. If you add the skilled nursing rider, $41.76 a month. Add the cancer rider with a $300 benefit, $48.07 a month. So it's a $6 difference for the most part to add another $50 a day of daily confinement benefit for your clients. And they can use, again, the dollars any which way they want. When the claims are occurring, when they occur, the dollars will be, payments will be made directly to your client, so they can choose and to do what they want with those dollars. I think hopefully you see that this is definitely a win-win situation for everybody. It's for your client to win-win because obviously you take care of the exposure. They don't have to get into their savings or anything, or investment accounts to pay for some of these expenses that they have with the health plan. But it's also a win for you just as an agent because by offering our product, Advantage Plus, in a conjuncture with your health plans, it's going to help solidify your sale and increase your persistency on with the plan because now your client is going to be in a better position and feel more comfortable about having the health insurance that they do have. And obviously, by making a second sale, you generate a commission for yourself. And also another positive here is that you're selling your client a standalone policy that's offered through GTL, which then that becomes your client, and you can contact your client anytime you want. So there isn't going to be any specific rules because you do have another product outside of a regulated product that you have to follow a bunch of all the rules for. So that's definitely something that definitely is a help because the Advantage Plus isn't a product that you can sell just from given time frame to a given time frame. This is available to sell all year round. So it's definitely a definitely a good product to have in your back pocket. So I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. Talk about another product we have available, which is our Supplemental Solutions Cancer Plan. I'm a big believer in the cancer plans because when you look at the screen here and you're reading some of these statistics here, the 1 out of 2 people will get diagnosed with cancer during their lifetime. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a mathematician, but I can figure out 1 out of 2 is a 50-50 chance that I'm going to get, someone's going to get diagnosed with cancer. It could be me, it could be anybody in my family. We don't know who, but with that being said, it makes a lot of sense to, if I have 50-50 chance to get a policy or offer a policy to friends and family to be able to, help them in a time of, when if they do get diagnosed, because there's other things going on in life, that also need dollars available. And if you're out, if you're diagnosed with cancer and you're being treated, you're not going to be working potentially. You're not going to, the person's not going to be thinking about how am I going to pay my mortgage, my car, and so forth. They're going to think about how do I get treated? Where do I need to go for the best place to get the treatment for these things? And and when you're thinking about all that stuff, it takes money. That's the bottom line. At the end of the day, it takes money. And the question that what we always going to say is that is it better to take money directly out of your savings account, 401k, or your kids' college funds, or is it better to go into debt? Obviously, not, as we all probably will agree, none of those are great choices. So that's where the cancer plan could be of help for your clients, in that they can definitely be able to get access to a large sum of dollars, for just pennies, when it's all said and done. So the product that's available is called Supplemental Solutions. It's a lump sum cancer plan. It's a first occurrence product. The benefits do go from $10,000 to $50,000 for those folks that are under the age of 50. For those folks that are 50 and over, the minimum is $5,000 of benefits. So it makes a lot of sense there. It is a one-time lump sum product. We do offer a heart attack and stroke rider, which that rider is a 25% benefit, and it's paid in addition to the cancer amount. So if I had a $50,000 lump sum cancer plan and I had a heart attack or stroke first, I would receive from GTL $12,500. And then at some point in the future, if I were to get diagnosed with a invasive growth cancer, I'm going to get $50,000 from GTL. Pretty good deal, I think. We do offer individual and or family coverage. The individual coverage, obviously, in the with the higher ages you get, probably be the best way to go. Family coverage is great for when you have a younger family, with a husband, wife, and 2.3 kids. The rates are unisex, and there's no tobacco classification. And the product is the issue ages for the product are from 0 to age 79. There's some, and it's a yes/no application, just like the Advantage Plus. So if they answer yes to any questions, there's no, they shouldn't submit the application. If they answer no other questions, submit the application. Will be issued. So, and I like to use the lump sum cancer plan also in conjunction with what happens if the client doesn't qualify for an Advantage Plus product, because maybe they said yes to one of the first 5 questions, but they've never had cancer in the last 10 years, or in their life. They still have that, they'll still have that exposure. So I can still offer a standalone lump sum cancer plan, as you can see, for a $5,000 benefit at age, even at age 50, geez, $5,000, $7.20 a month. But at age 65, it's $13.86 a month for $5,000 of lump sum cancer. Very, very affordable, and you take care of an exposure that is a pretty big exposure for your client. I mean, $600-700 is a pretty big exposure for most folks. So it's a small premium to be able to take care of that out-of-pocket exposure, without a doubt. I'd like to talk about the $10,000 benefit level. The reason being is that some plans out there, if they have an in-network maximum out-of-pocket and then they have an out-of-network maximum out-of-pocket, or what happens if your client gets diagnosed with cancer in October and their treatment starts in October of 2013, and it doesn't end until, let's say, May or June of 2014. They're going to already meet their 2013 maximum out-of-pocket. They're also going to have a max out-of-pocket for 2014. So the double value there would be able to offer your clients the ability to pay for 2 maximum out-of-pockets for 2 consecutive years. So that's another positive there. But at $10,000, you're still looking at $27.72 at age 65. Again, very affordable. This product, even with the Advantage Plus, it's not subject to just the senior market. As you can see, we go down to 0 to age 79 with a lump sum cancer plan. So any client that you have that that isn't that you should be have a conversation, at least talk about this. If you look at the $10,000 cancer with heart attack stroke rider, at age 65 you're looking at $36.62. At age 50 you're looking at $18.15 a month. So as you can see, very affordable. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think I think it's something that's worthwhile to have a conversation with the clients. When it's all said and done, there is nobody that profiles to be a client of for cancer plans or even a hospital indemnity plan. It's something that we should talk about with everybody. You can talk about it with employer friends that you may have, anybody that you meet through your organizations and such. So everybody is a potential client here. If you know any small business owners and you want to talk to them about some voluntary benefits, the cancer plan can be a nice fit for that. That way you can do a list bill with for that employer, which requires a minimum of 4 lives. So it's definitely I think definitely the potential is there to definitely increase your income and your client base by talking more about some of these ancillary products that we talked about today. We do offer a number of different ways to submit business with GTL. Obviously, one way is going to be electronic, and we do use an agent portal, which is a web-based platform. That web-based platform you can access by going to www.gtlic.com, Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company.com, gtlic.com. And if you're not contracted currently with GTL, once you get contracted and you've received your writing number, you will then get access to being able to input information on our web portal. One of the neat things about the web portal is that as long as you're connected to the internet, you can input your client's information, type their signature, type their name into everywhere where it says signature, and then we will ask you to call to have the client call for a voice verification, which takes about just a little bit shy of 3 minutes to complete. They'll ask about 7 to 8 questions of the client that they should know all the answers to, their name, their social security number, and so forth. And once that's complete and you submit the application, then the product will be issued right away. It's called straight-through processing that we do there. A second electronic method that we do offer is an iPad application. So for those of you that do have an iPad, we do have an app that you can go to the App Store and download it and then be able to input applications right there in front of your client. Input it right in front of your client, and then and have your client use their finger to sign the applications. So it's a very neat process, and I'll show it to you here in a second. One of the nice things about this iPad app is that you don't have to be connected to the internet to complete this app, to do the application with your client. As long as you're in front of them, they can sign it. And then once you get back to your office and you get connected to Wi-Fi, then you can send the application into GTL electronically. We still take business, in essence, by written applications. So for those of you that still like to write out an applications, which is great, you have an option to send it to us by email. And if you scan it and attach it to an email and send it to und@gtlic.com, then we would receive that application and process it. Or you can even still fax it to New Business directly. I would tell you between the two options, email or fax, I would highly suggest that you go with the email. If you do decide to fax it, A couple days after you do fax in an application, I would just contact our new business area just to verify that it has been received. For those of you that aren't aware, I wasn't aware of myself, but when we send a fax and it says okay, it doesn't mean that the recipient received it. It just means it left my end okay. So, so definitely, those confirmations don't really, don't necessarily mean that I received it. So we want to make sure that you do get the business process quickly and as possible. Or if you do receive the first month's premium from a client, go ahead and mail that application into GTL at the address provided there. So if you did submit the application via agent portal, iPad, or email, or even fax it in, we don't require that you send in the originals, and we don't require that you send in the first month's premium. All you would need to do is provide the monthly PAC information along with the voided check, and you would be able to go do the draft upon issue once the policy is approved. Then we'll start going on a monthly basis from there. Here's the cutting-edge technology I was telling you about here. So apps issued and delivered in 3 minutes. That's what happens when you submit applications through our iPad or even through our agent portal. We have this process called straight-through processing. What the advantages for you is going to be either, obviously speed, but the biggest advantage is going to be an amendment killer. The reason why it's amendment killer is that it won't allow you to submit the applications unless all the fields are input, having the proper input in it. So sometimes on a paper app we might forget to put in something in a certain space or something. We all do that. But this will allow you to submit it until it's all done. So it definitely will help cut down the amount of amendments that somebody or anybody would receive. Very cool. If you submit applications on the web or the iPad, it is straight-through process, which means that as soon as we receive the application, it's going to be electronically underwritten and the policy will be issued. And many times it'll be in your client's inbox before you even get a chance to get out of the car if you're doing the submission right there, if you're connected to the internet and so forth when you're with your client. You do have the option of receiving a policy via paper or email, but you have to make one choice or the other when you're submitting the application. So if the client, if you submit it electronically and your client wants a paper app, we'd be more than happy to handle that for them. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the iPad app, I would highly suggest that you go to the online tutorials at www.sellgtl.com. Our folks here have done a great job in segmenting out the various phases of when you could use the iPad. So it's a great place to take a look at it at your leisure. Probably at night when you're watching Dancing with the Stars or The Voice or whatever's on these days, and being able to take a look and see how the actual iPad app process works. But here I will show you really how this works now. In that this is the cover of a brochure. So as you swipe, there's a copy of some of our applications. Press the buttons. There's a signature box, and then that's what it looks like when you get the that's what it looks like when you got an email from us. So from a contact information perspective, obviously we're here to support everything that you guys do, along with AIM. We're definitely here to be your back office also. So feel free to use our website, gtlic.com. You get access to GT-Link, which gives you the ability to download forms, applications, brochures, rates, quoting software. You can see your commission statements on there, and also get access to Agent Portal. If you have any questions about product, if you're with a client and you need to, you need to get a quick question answered about does the product does this or that, our sales support folks are here available for you at 800-323-6907. We are available Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on Fridays from 9 to 1 Eastern Time. Like I said earlier, you have the, if you have any, if you want to verify or you want to provide any additional information to underwriting, their new business number is 800-635-1993. Or maybe you might have a question about, does a certain condition fit within the criteria or does not fit within the criteria of an application question, feel free to call the new business number, and you can ask to speak to an underwriter, and they can give you some guidance on, what can happen within that particular scenario. And then once you have a client with an in-force policy, if your clients ever need to file a claim, the number that they would call would be 800-338-7452. That's our customer service area, and they would be happy to send them out the claim forms and to get that process started with your client. And for contracting questions, please contact American Independent Marketing, or as otherwise known as AIM, and contact Mike Anderson at 800-672-7202. For those of you that are contracted with GTO currently and have written some business with us, we appreciate the business. For those of you that haven't gotten contracted yet and are looking at getting contracted, we look forward to working with you. And I think at this time we can go ahead and start taking, go with the questions portion.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking care of all that. I'm in the process right now of unmuting everybody. We got a couple of folks out there who did not get themselves set up with the audio pin, and we're not able to unmute them. I'll deal with that here in a second, but we're getting everybody ready to go here. So if you've got questions, go ahead and jump in. And as far as Marge and Margaret, Lance, and Parnell, you did not utilize the audio pin, and as such, I can't unmute you. Anybody else who's got questions, go ahead and fire away.
Yeah, Rick George up here in Maine.
Morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning. Hey, how does the, because people always will ask, how does the claims process work?
Like I said, you contact our, you have the client call in, to our customer service area. They'll send them the claim forms, and then once those claim forms are completed, and I'm glad you asked the question because I did forget to tell you one thing. You want to make sure that your client turns in with the claim forms a UB04 form.
A what?
UB04, Umbrella Bravo 04. It's a form that's provided by the hospital.
Okay.
It's a diagnostic codes form that tells us exactly what occurred, what time frames it was. Because one of the biggest things that we try to, that's one of the biggest problems that we have is, folks try to send us EOBs, and EOBs don't really tell us anything in terms of time frames or, exact time frames and so forth. So the UB04 form is the best form to use, George.
Okay, that's good. All right, other questions out there. Sounds like we're getting a little bit of background noise, so we'll try to work through that.
I have a question about previous clients. Stephen Hooper from Maine.
Fire away, Stephen.
I wrote some people back in 2010. So if they want to add coverage, it's going to be at their current age rate, correct?
Correct. They keep what they have. They keep what they have back from 2010.
Right.
They keep that policy on its own, and then you add a minimum of $50 at their current age, and they'll receive a second policy.
Okay, and then another question. I'm doing this from memory. I haven't written anything for a year or two. If somebody has been in the hospital, once they've not been in a hospital for a year, they can apply for the hospital policy?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right, other question.
The slides that we have right here, are we able to actually utilize them for references?
I'll send them to Mike once we're done here. I can send a copy over to Mike.
I'll get them out to you. Anybody that wants the slides, let me give you my email address. Most of you already have it, but it's mike.anderson, and that's S-O-N, at whyaim, WHYAIM.com.
What is it? W-H-Y what?
WHYAIM, whyaim.com.
Okay.
And Mike, you may want to mention for those that are with our business partner, CBU, that we will have this as a recorded link that will be available on their website as well.
Exactly. I'll get that over to the folks at the CBU home office. They'll be able to get it loaded onto your website. You can also go back and use that as a resource as well. So thanks for that point. Any other questions out there?
Oh, good. Ray Valley here. Thank you, Michael. Dennis, awesome. We've got a small army in the room here.
Okay, well, glad to hear it. Appreciate everybody making their time available. We'll make one more pass here for questions. And again, my email, mike.anderson@whyam.com. If you want a copy of the slides, shoot me a note, and I'll get those out to you here directly. If we have no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap everything up. Dimitri, thanks so much for making your time available from the heartland of the nation there in Illinois. We really appreciate it, and as you said, anything we can do to help you all do more, let us know, and we will get you taken care of. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Have a good day. Bye now.
Bye-bye.